Hey, Magic Man here, and today I've got a game in my Tier 6 Budyonny, and this is probably one of the first games I've had in this ship that I was actually the top tier. Um, a majority of the time it's either a Tier 7 or Tier 8 game. I'd say maybe 1 out of every 10 games is a Tier 6, so I wanted to show this game off because I feel like the Budyonny is a very strong ship when it's a top tier ship. And it's not too bad when it's in a tier 7, but when it's up against tier 8s, it's really kind of outmatched in my opinion. And as far as you know, I don't know, sort of the overall power of this ship goes, because it's got 3 turrets, I really find that the firepower is a little lacking considering how bad your dispersion can get at the longer ranges, but I guess that's just sort of typical of any ship. But the other reason I wanted to show off this game was because of positioning. As you can see, there are actually 4 battleships on each team and 2 carriers. I also thought it was really strange. This was a match where there was a double carrier matchup, and the Budyonny's anti-aircraft guns are really nothing to brag about. I feel like they're a little bit on the weak side, but that's just my opinion. Now I take a shot at that Molotov, and actually it looks like I landed those shots right in the middle of his smokestack on the back of his ship, but I guess because the HE is such a low caliber, it didn't really hurt anything. But I did knock out 2 of his anti-aircraft guns. Not that the Molotov has much in the way of anti-air to speak of to begin with, so I guess that's a good thing because we have 2 carriers on our team. So right now I'm sort of positioning myself behind this island. I wanted to sort of see where the enemy battleships were going to go, if they were going to push into B or if they were going to continue their long and lengthy journey all the way to the A cap. Now I know one of the enemy destroyers is in C. I pretty much count all of their ships right here. I think pretty much all of them have been spotted at this point, with the exception of the destroyers and the carriers, so I'm feeling pretty confident in this particular location. Most of the enemy battleships are probably not going to be looking at me. Now, somebody is targeting me at the moment. I have no idea who it is. Doesn't look like any of these ships are actually looking at me, but I'm taking this opportunity to get in some good shots on their battleships, see if I can light some fires. And I also wanted to be in this position just in case something that is exactly what's unfolding in C happens. There's a enemy destroyer. Sometimes they come out in between the channel there between those 2 islands in C, and I felt like I would be in a really good spot to take some shots at them if one of them decides to try and come through there. Now unfortunately that is not happening. Excuse me. So I assume that enemy destroyer that's in C is probably turning around and getting the hell out of Dodge, heading back up towards the north side of the map there. So I'm going to take this opportunity to push up into B, because I can see what's unfolding is most of the enemy battleships are going to go into A. They're not going to turn and come towards B, which is going to make it very easy to kill them off, and it should be very easy for our destroyers, because they're either going to be coming through the gap in the 2 islands on the E4 line, or the gap in the islands on the F3 line. And when you know which direction your enemy is going to be sailing, it makes it very easy to land torpedoes on them. And I was hoping that's what our destroyers were going to do, but it looks like both of them are actually taking themselves out of position to do that. So I was kind of sad about that, but I am going to set myself up behind this island and take some shots at this one battleship that is turning in. Now I do set a fire on them, and it looks like it's still burning. And yeah, my damage counter is still ticking up. Now, this was something that was a little bit unexpected to me. Is it looks like the enemy is going to continue to head south around A instead of coming towards B. And unfortunately, some of our battleships, who, you know, when you're that slow, you probably shouldn't take your time and go to a cap that's that far away from you. But you know, it's their ship; they can sail how they want to. So they're just kind of getting over there and meeting these enemy ships. And unfortunately for them, you know, they are heavily outnumbered, and yeah, it's just too bad for them. Now, our friendlies have killed the enemy destroyer that was in C. We have unfortunately already lost 2 cruisers, both of which were at the A cap, unsurprisingly. Typically, when you see that many enemies coming towards a cap and there's only 2 or 3 of you, it's a good idea to abandon that position and retreat to a more defensible position, say like behind an island where they can't see you. Now, I am sailing towards this island right in front of me on purpose. I had to get out of B because I was going to get surrounded, I felt like. So I'm hightailing over to this island. I'm going to position myself sort of up against it to kind of shield myself from the battleship up there to the north. I believe it's a Fuso. I know he has the range to hit me. And I'm going to show these guys basically just kind of like the ass of my ship. You know, not very much to shoot at. If they shoot at me, they're probably not going to score much damage unless they get a lucky citadel, which is possible because you know, these cruisers, their deck armor is a joke, and the battleship's guns, you know, they're basically going to go straight through your deck armor. So I am targeted by 2 different people now. I do get another fire on that New Mexico, so I'm going to switch my target to this Koenig and see if I can light a fire on him as well. And sure enough, get a fire on the Koenig. Now, it's a good idea when you're shooting at battleships or any other ship for that matter. If you're shooting at a part of the ship that's black, that just means that part of the ship has taken quite a bit of damage, and your chance for a fire is going to be reduced. Also, your potential for doing damage with, say, high explosive is also going to be reduced. So that's kind of why I'm trying to hit the unblackened parts of those battleships, like the aft and fore end, because I know my HE isn't going to do that much damage anyways. I'm really going to get a lot of my damage from the fire, so that's what I was doing there. Now, I'm going to position myself on the other side of this island and up against it because the enemy is pushing in. I felt like it wouldn't take much for them to kind of push south a little bit, and then they'd have the side of my ship. So I'm going to sit up with this island blocking most of the enemy team from me, and I'm going to try and help these guys that went through the sea cap kill this Fuso. Now, he is charging straight at me, and I'm assuming that is him that is targeting me. And I got targeted for just a split second there, and there it is again. I'm being targeted by 2 different people. Now, I assume it's the destroyer that just popped into vision and then popped out. So I was kind of scooting backwards to try and put a little bit of island between me and this battleship, but not so much that I reveal myself to the rest of his team. So I'm going to scoot up because I'm pretty sure there's torpedoes coming. Also turn on my hydroacoustic. I don't feel like those torpedoes have an angle on me in this particular spot, so I'm going to stop here. And I'm unfortunately not doing that much damage to this Fuso, which is not that surprising because I'm firing low caliber 6-inch guns at him. And yeah, even at 8 kilometers with a fairly flat surface, my shells just shatter and bounce off of the Fuso. Didn't really do that much damage. Now, unfortunately for me, nobody's really getting any torpedo hits on this guy, which is making it take even longer to kill this Fuso. And we just lost our Cleveland there, so I'm pretty sure, yeah, he's facing his guns directly at me now. Luckily for me, a broadside friendly Fuso comes straight across, and I guess he thought that this Fuso was a more inviting target because he switched off of me, and we finally landed some torpedoes on that guy and kill him. But it's not over yet, because I guess since the enemies in BCAP could not particularly shoot at me from where they were at, they decided to sail around north to take some shots at us. So I'm still going to be sitting in this position for a while. I am sort of rotating my ship around the backside of this island. I will be spotted by the destroyer in the BCAP, but that's fine because I really just want to get out of the line of fire of that battleship right there. And this Molotov, if he's going to continue to give me the broadside of a ship, I will switch over to AP, and unfortunately for him, I don't know if he has the use of his rudder. My HE actually, it popped up that I disabled it, so I'm going to assume he's going to have to continue to sail in a straight line, and I'm going to take advantage of that. And I score a Citadel right there, and I do a little bit better job of leading this time, and this should be the kill right here. And yeah, sure enough, we get a Citadel, and he's done for. Now, the Kona Guard on the other side of this island, I think it was taken out by some torpedoes and the help of that Fuso. So at this point, I kind of wanted to back up into the cap, but I knew I was going to be moving too slow to really stay up with my friendlies, so it's going to have to speed up, rotate around the island, and then do what I could. Now, unfortunately for us, that very healthy Fuso that sailed through sea is now almost dead. And I'm assuming it's due to the fact that he did the dumb thing of sailing broadside on to 2 different battleships, which I never suggest you do. So I have to assume that he was on fire, which is why I was losing health. And here come the torpedoes towards him. I thought he was going to be a goner at this point, and this match was going to end up being much closer than it already is. I'm trying to hit this guy, and I'm not doing a very good job of it, and he kind of just wiggles out of the way of that shot just a little bit. It's really hard to hit the damn Japanese destroyers when they're running away sort of at an angle like that, just because of how small they can make their ship. And as you can see there, those shells were really kind of spreading apart at 12 kilometers. So given another shot, I would have started landed quite a few shells, but fortunately we didn't need it because our Fuso took him out. Now we actually get a fire on the New Mexico, and I probably should have stopped right here or turned and angled towards the Fuso a little bit, but I had to get around our friendly New Mexico right here because this is a bad position for me. I've got a New Mexico in front of me, which is basically like a close range shotgun, and then I've got the Fuso down there to the south of me, who has just a wide open broadside shot at me, but I think he's more worried about shooting the carriers than he is me. Now I assume that's the New Mexico, or not New Mexico, but I assume this was the Fuso that was targeting me, and that's when I started turning, the second targeting icon popped in, and I knew that the New Mexico was targeting me, and I just have to hope that he doesn't kill me because I had already started my turn. It is what it is, unfortunately. So I take quite a big shot, and I also take a shot from the Fuso, but funnily enough, I actually score a Citadel on the carrier. Now at this point, the reason I turned around is because I have some fairly good aft firing torpedoes, and I planned on slowing down, but when I saw the torpedoes from our destroyer coming out of that smoke, I decided that I'll just keep my speed up and chase this carrier down. But what I had planned on doing was letting that New Mexico continue to charge into me, and I was going to launch some torpedoes at him. Although I don't know if I would have survived, because his guns might have citadeled me, because it's a real possibility. Because like I said, the battleship guns of this tier, even though they're 14 inches, they're still going to overmatch your armor. So regardless of your angle, they can still citadel you from any angle. Which is why you see a lot of battleship players, you know, if they have a choice between like an angled battleship and an angled cruiser, they're always going to shoot at an angled cruiser. Almost always. I know I will. So at this point, this Bogue is basically a dead man. There's no way he's going to get away. I don't know why he's even running, because I don't think he has any planes left. He can continue his escape, but at some point I'm just going to stop chasing him. The only reason I'm even going in this direction is because the enemy has the A cap over here, and I figured I'd just cap the point since I'm heading this direction. But this carrier is basically dead at this point. But now that our friendly destroyer said that he's going for A, I'm going to go ahead and turn south. And I'm going to see if I can maybe land some shots on the enemy carrier. So I feel pretty confident that we've won this game at this point. I've done over 100,000 points of damage and gotten 2 kills, so I feel like pretty accomplished in this game. I felt like I definitely pulled my weight. But yeah, the Budyonny's not a bad ship when it's top tier, and I really do like it. I like most of the Russian ships, as a matter of fact. I really can't wait for them to put like the Russian battleships in the game. I'm just kind of wondering what they're gonna be all about if they ever make it into the game. But it looks like it's probably going to be, I think they're going to put some more British ships in the game. The British destroyers, I believe, is what's coming next. I'm not really 100% on that. But if there's more destroyers coming to the game, I'm all about that. I really like destroyers and cruisers. I'm not a huge fan of battleships. Gameplay is just too slow for me. Excuse me. But at this point, I feel like we got this game in the bag. There's no way that the enemy team, I don't think, can come back from this. We are taking A, and we're at 900 points, so it won't be long before we reach the 1,000 required to win. And I'm just trying to land some shots on this Leander, and you can see why I say, you know, shooting at long range in this ship is kind of a bad idea, and with the exception of shooting at a battleship. A battleship is large enough that you're going to land a majority of your shells on them at long range, but this little skinny ship like the Leander, and he was unfortunately a victim of the Royal Navy cruiser smoke bug. He only got 1 puff there, and he ended up gliding out of his smoke, because I could see his smoke sitting there at the entrance to the sea. So he only got 1 puff and ended up dying because of it, but apparently they're supposed to be fixing that in 6.1 patch, so yeah, we'll see. Okay, so the results were not too bad for this match. Did 113,000 damage, which in a tier 6 game is pretty respectable, and got 2,900 XP, got 186,000, actually got 200 hits on target. And then we actually ended up second on the team there. I gotta give it to that Fuso that was on the top of our team. He actually got Dreadnought, Fireproof. I think he got High Caliber or something too. But yeah, he really tanked a lot of damage, which is you know, kind of what you're supposed to do in a battleship. But sort of spread the damage around there. Did about 30,000 to the Mexico and the Vogue, and the Molotov and the Fuso, about 10,000 to them. But almost 40,000 of our damage came from fires, and then the other, you know, 59,000 came from high explosive shells. And then after everything was paid for, it made about 110,000 credits. But anyways, this is just a kind of video to show off the importance of positioning, and hit the like button if you liked the video, and subscribe if you want to see more. Thanks for watching. Okay, so